hailing from Queens, New York, in the house. My next guest has an anointed gift of writing. Creator of the Divine Nine children's book series, her newest book, Let a Man Be a Man, has had critical acclaim and success. So, put your hands together for our fellow rattler, Miss Audra P. J.
Hello.
What's going on, lady?
Hello. How are you?
Hey, I didn't know I said Audrey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was listening, and I said, let me correct him right away before we get on the air. And you did. But I've been hearing that all my life, so it's nothing that I'm not used to. I calmly correct them, and it's okay.
I like how you say calmly. Oh, I got you. Hey,
well, thank you for having me.
Man, I've been wanting to get you on the show for a hot minute now, so this is very nice for me. I'm gonna jump right in and say, what do you mean when you say you are anointed with the gift of writing?
Well, everybody has their own gifts. I knew mine was not singing. As much as I profess to be a singer, and as much as I sing around the house or go to church and sing very loud, mind you, I just knew that was not the calling on my life. And once, it all clicked to me. It was almost like an epiphany when I was moving back to New York from FAMU, Florida A&M University, for those who didn't know that. Yeah. I was presented with a bunch of letters that, writing that I had done, and my mother kept them. And I saw poems and just, letters and a lot of writing verse, and it was when I was 7 and 8. So when I really thought about it, I said, well, that's been on my life all along, and that's what I love to do. It frees me. It lets me sleep at night when there are things on my mind. I keep a notepad. Every part of my house has a pen and a notepad, because as soon as a thought comes, you have to write it down. So that's just always been me.
So that was you in the back of the church that was doing all that singing.
Yeah, that was me. I just told my mother I'm going to join the choir, and she laughed.
If I remember correctly, before you really broke off in the writing industry, you were very successful in the music industry. Talk to me about that journey.
Yes, that was a wonderful journey, and that's why I could relate to your previous guest, Monica, because the branding, she was on point with that. I was a publicist in the music industry, and I began with Elektra Records. So some of my clients were Busta Rhymes and leaders of the new school. That was in the early 90s when hip-hop was, making it to the major labels. And it was just a great journey because it taught me, like Monica was saying, what branding and publicity is all about. And that led me to becoming Puffy's publicist and, moving on to my own publicity firm called the Progressive Agency. And to this day, people still ask me, can you do publicity for me? Well, it depends on the project and your budget. Will I do it? But I wrote a book. My first manuscript was how to get a record deal. And it was because I would see so many people in the music industry, younger African-American males in particular, would sign their contracts and just, they never understood what recouping meant. So if you get a deal and you get a $20,000 advance, that doesn't mean that money's free and clear. So they would get these chains and they would get these cars, and, a lot of them are coming out of the projects or impoverished neighborhoods, and they didn't know what to do with their money. And I would see it time and time again, and I would be like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing, because if you don't sell a certain amount of albums, or that's an old school word for the people that don't know what an album is. If you don't make enough
yeah, you
sales,
gave yourself.
Right, I know, I can't help it. But if you don't make enough in sales, then you have to give the money back, or you're indebted to the record company for a lot of money. So, you know, all these images on the videos is really not reality. Just like they say perception is not reality, that is true.